Have you ever woken up in the morning, sat on the edge of your bed, and just felt off? Maybe your balance isn't quite there yet, your legs feel a little shaky, or your mind's still foggy even after a full night's rest. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Mornings can feel a lot different after 70. But the strange part is, sometimes it's not your age at all. It's your morning habits. The little things you've been doing for years, without a second thought, might actually be making your days harder and your body weaker. Now, I know that might sound surprising. But hear me out. When we hit our 70s and beyond, our bodies change. Our metabolism slows, muscles take longer to recover, and even our sense of thirst gets weaker. So the routines we used to breeze through at 40 or 50, they can start backfiring if we're not careful. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 sneaky morning habits that could be putting your health at risk. Not in a scary way, but in a way that empowers you to make smarter choices starting tomorrow morning. And the best part, fixing these habits doesn't require big changes. Just a few mindful tweaks that can protect your balance, your heart, and even your independence. Let's start with something most of us are guilty of, especially on those chilly mornings when getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. I'm talking about jumping straight out of bed the second you open your eyes. You might be thinking, I've always done that. What's the big deal? But after 70, this quick movement, going from lying down to standing, can actually be dangerous. Here's why. When you've been lying down all night, your blood tends to pool in the lower parts of your body. Your blood pressure drops slightly, and your heart slows down during sleep. So when you suddenly sit up or stand too fast, your brain might not get enough blood right away. That can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure, a condition called orthostatic hypotension. What does that mean in plain English? Dizziness, lightheadedness, and for some folks, even a fall. And we all know how risky falls can be at this stage of life. Now, this doesn't mean you need to stay in bed all morning. But easing into the day, giving your body a chance to adjust, can make a big difference. Instead of swinging your legs over and standing right up, try this. First, wiggle your fingers and toes. Then stretch your arms above your head while still lying down. Slowly sit up, let your feet rest on the floor, and take a few deep breaths before standing. It might take an extra minute, but that minute can help your circulation catch up and keep you steady on your feet. Think of it like warming up your car in the winter. You wouldn't just hit the gas the moment you started up. You give it a second. Your body deserves that same care, especially after a long night of rest. Another thing to think about. Water. I'll save that for a bit later, but trust me, it's more important in the morning than most people realize. But let's stick with what happens right after you get out of bed. Now imagine this. You've finally made it to your feet, shuffled your way to the bathroom or the kitchen, but you haven't eaten anything yet. And what do you do next? For a lot of people, the very first thing is reaching for a cup of coffee. It's comforting. It's routine. And it wakes you up, right? But here's the thing. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning, might not be as harmless as it seems. Coffee, especially for older adults, can increase stomach acid. And when there's no food in your belly to buffer it, that acid can irritate the lining of your stomach. Over time, that can lead to acid reflux, bloating, and digestive discomfort. But it's not just your stomach. Caffeine is a stimulant. It revs up your nervous system. If your body's still waking up and hasn't had any nourishment, that caffeine jolt can increase anxiety, spike your heart rate, and even leave you feeling more tired later when it wears off. And let's not forget hydration. Coffee is a diuretic. It pulls water out of your system. So starting the day with a dehydrating drink before anything else? That can set you up for muscle cramps, brain fog, and fatigue. Not the kind of start you want. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up coffee. Not at all. But consider drinking a glass of water first. Just 8 to 12 ounces. Something to replenish your system after a long night without fluids. You might be surprised how much better your body feels with that simple habit. And if you can, try eating a little something, even a small piece of toast, a banana, or a handful of nuts, before your coffee. That one change alone could save your stomach and help your energy stay more even throughout the day. You see, mornings are like the foundation of your day. And if the foundation is shaky, it throws everything else off balance. The beautiful thing is, we have control over these small habits. They don't require a gym membership or expensive supplements, just a bit of awareness and intention. Now that we've talked about how you ease out of bed and what you reach the first thing in the morning, it's time to look at one more habit that most people don't even realize can mess with their energy, mood, and physical health. And it has to do with something that seems completely harmless, maybe even relaxing. So let's talk about that next sneaky morning habit. And it's something a lot of people don't think twice about, especially after retirement. It's staying in bed too long after you're awake. Now, I get it. You're warm, the bed is cozy, and if there's no rush to be anywhere, why not soak up a few extra minutes under the covers, right? But here's the thing. Lying in bed too long, especially after waking, can actually leave you feeling more tired, not more rested. Sounds backwards, doesn't it? But your body thrives on movement, and when we stay still for too long, everything from our circulation to our metabolism slows down. The longer we stay in bed, the more our muscles stiffen, our joints ache, and our energy dips. It's like telling your body, we're not doing much today, before the day even begins. Now I'm not saying you need to spring up at the crack of dawn like you're off to the races. But once you're awake, try to gently get moving within 10 to 15 minutes. Sitting up, stretching, sipping some water, these small actions tell your body, it's time to start the day. And believe it or not, that little shift in your routine can help improve circulation, boost mood, and reduce that sluggish feeling so many people mistake for just getting older. And here's something even more surprising. Prolonged lying in bed, day after day, has been linked to a higher risk of depression in older adults. The less we move, the less energy we feel. The less energy we feel, the less motivated we are to move. It becomes a cycle, and it can start with something as simple as hitting the snooze button one too many times. So here's a gentle strategy. Set a small morning ritual. It doesn't have to be fancy. Maybe it's opening the curtains to let the light in. Maybe it's playing some soft music while you stretch. Or even just standing near the window for a moment of fresh air. That tiny spark of activity can rewire the whole tone of your day. And the best part is, it's completely within your control. And while we're talking about the quiet moments of the morning, there's another habit that often sneaks in unnoticed. Skipping breakfast. Now, I know breakfast isn't everyone's favorite meal, and for years we've heard conflicting messages about whether you need to eat in the morning or not. But after 70, your body has different needs. You're not fueling a 30-year-old body anymore, you're nourishing a wiser one, a body that might not signal hunger as clearly, but still desperately needs that early fuel to function properly. Skipping breakfast can lead to unstable blood sugar levels, which can affect your mood, focus, and energy. You might find yourself feeling irritated or drained before lunchtime, and you may not even realize it's because your brain and body haven't gotten the nutrients they need to get going. Worse yet, skipping that first meal can cause your body to cling to calories later in the day, slowing your metabolism and even contributing to unwanted weight gain. But more importantly, muscle loss. As we age, maintaining muscle becomes a priority, especially if we want to stay strong, independent, and able to move freely. And guess what your muscles need? Protein, fuel, nutrients, all of which are missing if your first real meal isn't until the afternoon. Now, I'm not saying you have to make a big breakfast buffet every day. But even something simple, a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast with nut butter, a small bowl of oatmeal with berries, can provide just enough energy to support your muscles, keep your mind alert, and help you avoid that mid-morning crash. If you're someone who wakes up without an appetite, try starting with something light and hydrating, like warm lemon water, or a few bites of fruit. Often, just that small act can wake up your digestion and spark a bit of hunger. And let's not forget, breakfast can also be a beautiful part of your routine. Something to look forward to. Whether you enjoy it quietly with a book or while chatting with a loved one, it becomes more than just fuel. It becomes a comforting ritual that sets the tone for a calm, intentional day. It's these little habits, how you wake, how you move, how you nourish yourself, that quietly shape your energy, your strength, and your mood. They seem small on the surface, but when you stack them together, they create the rhythm of your life. And when we pay attention to these rhythms, especially in the morning, we give ourselves the best chance to stay vibrant, active, and clear-headed as the years roll on. Now, we've talked about how jumping out of bed too quickly can throw off your balance, how coffee on an empty stomach can mess with your gut and energy, how lingering in bed too long might actually be draining you instead of helping you, and how skipping breakfast steals the fuel your body needs to function at its best. But there's still one more habit I want to share with you. One that might surprise you because it feels like a good thing. It seems harmless, even productive. But it could be silently increasing your risk of inflammation, stiffness, and even chronic fatigue. And the fix? It's refreshingly simple. Let's talk about this last one. It's something a lot of people take pride in. In fact, you might even feel like it's part of being responsible, being efficient, or just staying on top of things. I'm talking about starting your day by diving right into the news, emails, or social media. Now, before you raise an eyebrow, hear me out. There's nothing wrong with staying informed or checking in with the world, especially if it helps you feel connected. But what matters just as much as what you take in is when you take it in. The first 30 to 60 minutes of your day are like soft clay. That time sets the mental and emotional tone for everything that follows. If the first thing your brain absorbs is stress, bad news, political arguments, frightening headlines, or even that long to-do list waiting in your inbox, it's like pouring a bucket of cold water on your peace of mind. Your body responds instantly. Your heart rate might go up. Your muscles tense. Your stress hormones spike. And just like that, before you've even finished your tea or gotten dressed, your body is in fight or flight mode, on edge, reactive, and already depleted. That's not a peaceful way to begin your day. And over time, that pattern of early morning stress can wear down your immune system, affect your memory, raise your blood pressure, and even contribute to inflammation and joint pain. What's tricky is that this habit feels passive. You're just reading, or scrolling. But your nervous system doesn't know the difference between reading a crisis and experiencing one. It reacts all the same. So, what can you do instead? Try protecting your mornings like sacred space. Give yourself a buffer before letting the outside world in. Even 20 minutes can make a difference. Use that time to check in with you. Not with the world, not with the news, not with your phone. Sit quietly. Stretch your legs. Water your plants. Listen to music that makes you feel good. Breathe in some fresh air from your porch. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. These small acts can ground you, emotionally and physically. Then, when you do check in with the news or your messages, you're entering from a place of calm and balance, not anxiety or reactivity. It's a shift that not only protects your peace but improves how you respond to what's going on around you. You feel more in control, more focused, and much less overwhelmed. You see, aging well isn't about strict rules or rigid routines. It's about noticing the quiet moments, the overlooked habits, that either lift us up or slowly wear us down. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing just enough of the right things consistently, especially in the morning. Because your morning shapes your movement. It shapes your mindset. It even shapes your metabolism. And once you start seeing that connection, it becomes easier to make gentle, meaningful changes that ripple throughout your entire day. So let's take a moment to recap. Not with a checklist, but with a feeling. Imagine waking up, taking your time to sit up, breathe, and greet the day without jolting out of bed or skipping over your needs. You enjoy a light, nourishing breakfast that gives your body the strength it needs. You spend a few quiet minutes easing into your thoughts, not bombarding them with noise. You move gently, smile at your reflection, and start the day not as a chore to survive, but a gift to experience. That's what we're aiming for. Not perfection. Just presence. Just peace. Just enough awareness to catch ourselves when we slip into autopilot. Because autopilot is where most of those dangerous habits hide. You deserve mornings that support your energy, protect your strength, and bring clarity to your mind. And believe me, You have so much more power than you might realize to make that happen. It starts with intention. It continues with awareness. And it grows with practice. And look, if you've been doing any of these habits for years, don't beat yourself up. That's not what this is about. You didn't know. But now you do. And that means you can begin to shift things, even just one little morning moment at a time. And that's where real change begins. In those tiny, consistent steps that add up to stronger bodies, steadier moods, and brighter days. So before you reach for your phone tomorrow morning, pause. Before you skip that breakfast or slump back into bed, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me feel my best? And if the answer is no, know that you have the power to choose differently. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one morning habit you're ready to let go of? Or maybe one new one you'd like to try? Your stories not only inspire others, they help build a community where we support and uplift each other. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. It really helps others find this kind of content. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical, uplifting tips to help you feel your best at any age. Remember, every day is a fresh start. And your mornings? They're the doorway to a better, healthier, more joyful you. Here's to mornings filled with energy, grace, and peace. You've got this.